All right. Yeah, I was minding why our test was running for what we have been doing, but first I'd like to um, change a bit our streaming. So I would like golang CLI test testing. All right, so go test, go run. I'm gonna golang CLI. And maybe I will also put somewhere should have here URL. Okay, so Golang Git, not a Git. It's also called yeah. All right, save this details. And this can give me an idea of how the live stream is going and how many viewers there are, and as well about the chat. Otherwise, there's another window where I have pretty much everything else. Okay, count got one to disable like the cache. It's something I have been using closely, and there is also normally my list of bookmarks here. Starting and added about solid.js. That will be what we will be doing just after this. We'll see again the intro and everything. Let me close the other tabs. Yep. So here I'm always doing the list untracked unstage command. That was the yesterday problem. Instead of every time doing actually the right command, like we expect the other commands give us nothing, and then our commands give us a n. So otherwise, um, it is normal that we have, for example, on this case. So let's go back to the test. We have here for class untracked and stage. We have actually a. So because this is untracked anyway. So if this is untracked, we have s staged. That equals this, and then we then have like this second one, untracked and stage were not working. But here we want to only test the list untracked and staged, and it's not unique. Like there is some issue that says that here it's we are expecting nothing. We're getting A, while we only do touch A, and it's being an untracked file. As it's being an untracked file, we are looking for unstaged of first staged. Is it staged? That should be false here. And then is class S, class is untracked. So the class for the command list untracked, unstaged. It's just return untracked here for the class. So this is true, or is it? Yeah, this is true. This should be false though. F stage should be equal to this. I mean, like we in the status, and we have in get status only like this is what we have in front of A, 2 colon marks. So staged and unstaged should be question marks, where we have our tests running now. It is class untracked, staged. So this for loop, the double for loop, does it mean something actually? So it means that while I'm trying all the cases of untracked changed, well, the command will always return A because it's what it's expecting the command to do. So actually, I think the error here is that we're not running the right command. So, oops. So indeed, like here, we should need to change the command and see that other commands, we expect nothing from them. Let's see. And require no error. And here we can say require or assert. And using assert here first. And instead of list untracked unstaged, we'll cname as printf list underscore class unstaged. So this will be cname. All right, let's see. All right. Yeah. Test. Okay. It looks like now we are passing our command. So all the other commands should return nothing, and the only command that returns something will be the staged command, the untracked unstaged, because this is what we have here, only one file that is being untracked and unstaged. Let's try also the same thing down here. So using here again cname, and we have a double for. Let me we split this one. Alright, so here take these two for here. Do some require stuff. And this is almost it. We have to change equal here to be expected. And expected has to be an empty string. And if class equals, so this time this would change here because we are willing to test untracked and staged. Then expected will be a new line. So that makes us the second command that already also passes. Same thing for change unstaged. So we would have some CName here and a little for loop. In here, and this would be here expected. As well as so as well as CName should be used in here. And so for this one, we are doing changed unstaged. Okay. All right. And finally for changed, oh. So I have untracked stage, untracked unstage. This is a little annoying, to be honest, because I had the CName just right here. So maybe can git diff. I am a little like change on stage. We already did change on stage. So I need to undo. Change unstaged. So we did like untracked unstage, untracked stage, change unstaged. Change unstage. Looks good. And here it should be change stage or something. Yeah, change stage. The name here has an issue. Okay. So this one take a modified file, and it has changed and it's being staged because I'm adding git add here. List change stage, so that will be our C name again. Where C name will be something about like list underscore the class. We take the same mechanics for testing here, and we expect for the tests something different when we have changed and staged. That's our for loop here, and instead of require, can assert. Same thing here. Okay. So yeah, I think this is the end of the test run. And there, they're missing like 2 semicolon. That's okay now. All right, so no error here. Yeah, let's see name. And this is for the test for change staged. So change and staged. Let me test again. So okay, so all the tests passes. So it means that the command the list will not return anything else but what is in its class, and crossed by cross products of the class, and if it's staged or unstaged, a reminder that the different classes are untracked or changed, and this logic have been tested. So I can use now the CLI tool for making 4 different classes and make it possible to pass it from change to unstaged in one click, having a git add. So it could be yag add, or I don't know how I can actually make this result, but like we will list everything that is being untracked changed, untracked unstaged, untracked staged. Where it is stage, we will add like a little U so that you can unstage it. And for the stage, the change, and we also can list them in this order. So let's try to add a command here, but like first I would like to add also my git main test, and it looks like we have a lot of changes here. We fixed improve file status detection in git operations, include stage of and modify check. So what do we have here? So this is exactly what I want to disappear, make disappear from the root command. A new file test/a. I don't really wanna make this, so ls test/a. Alright, so changes to be committed. So yag unstage test a. Alright, we have cmd test.go that has been changed. So I will then add that test.go file. Um, so let me continue. So I guess I add this test.cmd file. Um, yep. And let's see what comments do for me. So based on the diff, here is a suitable commit message. Untracked file handling in test command. Include untracked files in unstaged file listing. Yeah, good. Split untracked file handling between staged and unstaged states. Clean up function declaration for better readability. Not sure what is this last point about. I guess, yeah, I put them on one line here. So clean up function declaration, better readability. Okay. All right. So now I'm having a good time. There is the test file to be added. So git add cmd test slash main test.go. And let's see here. So add test for git file states, add test case to verify the behavior of file state detection in different scenarios. Untracked and unstaged file, untracked and staged file, modified and unstaged file, modified and staged files. Each test case verifies the correct output when listing files in different states using the yak test command. Perfect. So that makes it the last commit for this yak dev, and afterwards I will just merge this, make sure that everything is all okay, double checking everything. Therefore, have a git push origin dev. Let's see. compare and pull requests. So we add a test command with stage unstage file listing. We improve file status detection and we fixed it, and we must see like add tests. Alright, so tested test command listing. So I think the last one here for add test cases to verify the behavior is just this is exactly what is going on. So add test cases to verify the behavior of each file detection in different scenarios. And then each test case just verify the correct output when listing files in different states using the yak test command. Add test cases to verify the correct output when listing files in different states using the yak test command. Alright. So this is the pull request for this case. And we can rightfully squash and merge. Squash and merge. Hit pull origin main. Okay, very good. Let's fast forward it. So now, again, we take the output, like we have sort of a sort or category sort into 4 bins. We have unstaged files and we have staged files. And from those 2 categories, we can also split them into untracked and changed. So like this, if the user don't want the untracked files, then he can just skip those. I also wish I had the Go, like, you know, multiple, like for Go, for example, it will go more than some files. That's extensions I will like to always be tracking. So let me again, check out check out dev. Oh yeah, git check out dev. Sorry about that. And we need to rebase that onto, so to be sure have no issue, we can just git branch delete dev and get checkout dev. So now got the new branch. Last commit was this squash commit of everything. Okay. I don't really get this notation, but like I will only clear the panel here, resize it to 6 lines or so, and I think it's just a bug. Alright, so I can get back to my main command, like, because this is the one I want to change. And maybe instead of just deleting what we have there, I can add a subcommand called git add, yak add first. So the goal here, we will like add a yak add command, and this is something I can do from the root.go file. So there is already a root command, new root command, and this is something I don't like here. So instead of a root command, I will just change this to be function new add command, and I will like get my self inspired from everything in here. Need to get here get IO writer. That's our what we do here, and then we still have Cobra command, and this will do return Cobra dot command. I think I don't need these, so delete, and here we have it. So the use of this command will be add file star, so I call it file stars, but it's okay. And then we have the new root command, and this one will be a bit different. And we might have like some options we will pass to this one. So this command will run actually like 4 commands and to return, and like we will have staged and unstaged to start with. So println staged. Sorry, I need to first say run here. Oops. There we go. Alright, so I moved this thing to root add command instead, and I will go to here. So instead of this, I will have like root cmd dot add command, new root command, and it's not root command, it's called now add command, and the root command will be a new root command. Good. Return now for some reason. But so what do we have here? It is is it a little clearer? So function cmd command args. Alright, so what are we doing here? We don't need any arguments, nothing. We just need for us to list something. So we will have a command which gonna be exec dot command yag test list untracked staged, and we can run this guy, and we'll have actually also changed staged, and we'll also have untracked unstaged, so not staged. There we have list change, list untracked, bool will be like unstaged. Alright, so and instead, like, I would like to run this in a different way, but for now I will just like to be sure that this is working. So yag install apparently funker in could not import, it's in the root function. So I don't check the errors, that's true. But if I do yag now, it gives me staged and unstaged. And is it like, so unstaged, we have a lot of unstaged here, so it's kind of weird. And we also have something called staged. So that's quite weird. Yag test list untracked staged. Okay, so untracked unstaged should give me something. And so this is like all the files that are like being untracked, unstaged. And I should also have like a change unstaged. Yep. Is it? So the issue here is that when I do yag, it just doesn't print either of each, so maybe there's an error. Let me see if this is related to any error. Because it should be at least list changed. So both are unchanged, unstaged, so does it like return an error here? Nothing. Oh, maybe it's runs, but I don't get like the output standard issue. All right, so let me do this in a different way. So let's see first unstaged changes. So I will have to get the output into some buffer. And I will take like unstaged and staged both being bytes.buffer. And for two commands, so for unstaged command and stage command, I will like also make tracked and untracked buffers, or I can just keep adding them to the buffer if the option is disabled for tracked. And then I have also something about the language I want to get about it, get here. Therefore, I have somehow like a new way to proceed, right? So I need to make a command. Let's call X. Will be exec.command yag test. I will list for this case changed unstaged. So that will be my first command, and I will x dot standard output equals to unstaged. I will do x dot run. I will return let's change unstage. This thing give me an error here, and I need to declare my error somewhere. Okay, so just after that I have a list of unstaged changes. So the things that are not staged, they're not inside a stage, so I don't really care about them. And so when I have this, I will just run the command and give me like think about unstaged, and then I can do follow into a new scanner. So I don't know, just for the purpose of seeing what a scanner is doing. So you do buff.io.new scanner, and you put the reader. The reader will be unstaged, so we will read all unstaged. scan. And for scan dot scan, I'll call this a scanner instead. For scanner dot scan, scanner dot text will be something that we would like to see. All right, and then we have stage changes as well. So I can create a new command where I do yag test less changed staged x dot standard output equal to staged. So like this, I have in two categories. One is staged, one is unstaged. And if error is x dot run, if we have an issue running this, return. So yag list changed staged. Giving an error. And for the moment, like everything that being staged can be unstaged then. So scanner or so I would like to change to rewrite everything inside like new stage, but like with annotation. So I can either call it from a different scope here, and instead of missing stage here, we have like free node or like node free, not free staged. Bytes.buffer. That will be node free stage here. And then I would like to, instead of this, like for, so create a new scanner, bufio.new scanner. On node free stage for scanner dot scan. FMT println. So you're not gonna println this, so we're gonna put onto stage. So fmt dot println or fmt dot fprintln to staged, and we would like to print onto the stage thing staged, the stage file, so scanner.text and the little u like this. So like this, I'm composing them in here, and then I can have them accessible right after, so I can make a new scanner. New scanner for staged. And now for scanner dot scan fmc dot println scanner dot text. And that's it. So this scanner is just here to add a little in between brackets u. So let's see if this is actually okay. So I'm installing again my app with yag-i or yag install. It's the same thing. And I have only to type yag, and I have cmd/root, which is unstaged. And now if I git add my cmd root.go, I will see that it will be staged, so I can unstage it. So the idea is to put this through a scheme. Is it scheme actually? I know I was seeing yesterday about Nucleo. I mean, I was reading about Nucleo from Alex, which they say that it's faster, more convenient fuzzy master, not like FZF. Like it's even like more powerful compared. But there is no the difference. There's an unscientific comparison. So maybe they didn't make the scientific one, but maybe also there is some. Okay, anyway, but like it's called skim, right? So I don't know why I don't have skim in here. Which skim? Yeah, that's not anywhere. Is it called SK? Yes, it's called SK. So if I just put some echo A and echo AU. All right, if I echo this to SK, I will have a little selector. Oh, that's sad because the first one didn't really went through the pipe. I can just print F then A backslash N B backslash N U. Or first U backslash N through SK, and this gives me a little list where I can like choose them, and the one with the B that being separated from the rest of the list can be selected. And if I select something that of which the 3 ends characters are these ones, then it means that my file has to be unstaged. So I will use yag unstage command. All right, but for now, this is what I have here, and I have changed the cmd root command for this demonstration purpose, and we have to go a little further on this one. So, and there's also about like untracked files that I'm not listing at all, and I would like to also list like the untracked files for let's say I would like to list untracked files only that will match the language I'm using. So I will need to, so maybe let's do this first. Let's say that we have a little option called languages or langs, whatever. Lang, let's call it lang, which could be a string or a list of string actually. And this list of string will be populated by Cobra, where first of all, I need to return a command here as create a new variable here, and then I can return cmd. And actually it's only cmd. Cmd is already a pointer. And I will set lang equal to cmd dot flags. Exactly, it's a string array. So a string array defines a string flag with specified name value. And there is a difference between a string slice. The string slice defines, so you can, if you have a string slice here, it just returns, defines a string flag with a specified name, default value, and usage string. The return value is the address of a list of string variable that store. So that's exactly what I want here. It's more a string slice than a string array, because I want to have this little syntax v1 comma v2, and this they split accordingly with a comma separated value. So the default value for us, because we are using a lot of Golang, would be to put the string slice again here. So the value will be lang, and the value will be go, sum, and mod. Those are the extensions I want to be able to have a look at. I mean, like, these are my extensions for my languages. Usage string. And finally, I have usage. So languages to filter. So from git states, from to filter from. The thing is, normally you have a git ignore typology, but here I just want to try something else and see if it's maybe better to have it this way. All right, and lang here, it has to be a pointer to a slice of string. So this is what I want also in here. All right. So let me focus a bit more on this file. So I have to add my untracked file, but I will only use my lang here to be able to get through those files. So here, when I do my little scanner here and I print some file to the output, actually I should put these into a buffer. So I will call the sk buffer or something like that. So I will call this here var sk bytes.buffer, and instead of printing to the output of the string here, I will do sk, I will print ln to fprintln to sk. So it's my little sk buffer. And instead of only printing it, my scanner.text, I will just verify has prefix. So if suffix actually. So if strings.has suffix dot plus the little extension that we will get for extension range of lang. If strings.has suffix lang, we can, if it doesn't has the suffix lang, sorry. If it doesn't has a suffix lang, I forgot to open the braces here, and I forgot like I have to break them here. So if not strings.has suffix, suffix takes s and the suffix strings as well. So if it takes a string here and a suffix, it means that the suffix is this one and the strings will be scanner.text. And if strings has a suffix of any of my language suffix, then this is an operation. By the way, this is an operation I will be doing a lot. So I will create a little function is lang that returns a boolean, and we will take a pad as an input, and we will just do this little for thing in here. Instead of scanner text, it will be pad. We get through the extension, see if it's here, and if we doesn't have, if we find is not lang. All right, and if it has, if we found it, then we return it is true. So I mean, like, the thing is that if it has a suffix here, I mean, we could return. So if it doesn't has the suffix, then I can return false. Or actually, if it doesn't have the suffix, then I have to continue. Sorry, until we get to the suffix, and like if we get in here, we need to return true. So this isLang function should be tested, because I have a little doubt about like about it. Or we can just like really read it again. So for underscore extension range of lang, if not, if we don't find that the pad has this extension, then we check for the next one. I don't like this way of thinking. Actually, here we want to know what we need to know if it's not about, if it's not in in any of the languages. So if it's not Go, if it's not sum, if it's not .mod. So I'm checking that the pad has .go, for example. If the pad has .go, it's in the lang. We're done. We return true. Otherwise, we check for the other extension until we get to the last extension, for which we return false. So that's how I would do this little isLang function. We don't really like the return true and return false here, but the for loop structure kind of obligate us to get through it this way. I'm sure there is something more elegant, but here it's, let's say that it would work. So here we only print this if not isLang. Scanner text. Right, then we can just continue. Otherwise, we print it here. By the way, normally if I do only YAG here, we still see it in here, because first of all, it's not inside the staged category, so we can still see this, but it's inside of this category here, scanner text, and here we print it into staged. So the thing is the filter will happen inside this side of the code here, not somewhere else. All right, so if not isLang scanner.text, continue. Can we do this first? Yes. And we still have this unstaged file. So now that I have staged and unstaged, there is a good reason to think that there's a good reason to think that there is much more to go, but actually what we have here is for staged and change unstaged, well, this also changed staged. Now we have the untracked files, so it's kind of the same mechanics, and I can put them into unstaged and staged because the logic wants us to go this way. Only I want to put an option, var, which is going to be Boolean. And this one, cmd.flags, bool. All right. So if we want the untracked file to be disabled, we can just enable this option. The default is false, or default is false. Actually, default is true. I don't know if we want extension, to be honest. So when we have default of is false, and then if we accept we remove like untracked file. We just want to work on tracked files, because sometimes you have a lot of tracked files, but all these tracked files are normally some files from another file type, not in your language you're working with, or things like that. So not sure we want actually this option. I will just use it right now to be sure where we have the code. Where we have the code to actually do this. So skip untracked files. So how do I actually skip the untracked files? I have to list the untracked file somewhere. So here I have a command that I execute here for that reason, and it's called unstaged. So untracked files, some of the untracked files are not staged. And I would like to go through them as well. So I will say if so if untracked no, if not by the way, which is the default of the command. What I don't like here is that we're making all of this without writing any tests. Well, it would have been a very good exercise to write this command, writing the tests. We have only tested some atoms of this function, which are the list atoms, but here like are we adding the U thing? How do we split this function to actually readable ones? This is very bad legacy code turning on, because we just want the feature. And getting the feature for the feature is sometimes very harmful, and we're going through this way. All right, so let's do a new command. Yag test. Let's so now it's untracked, unstaged. X dot standard output equals to unstaged. So it will write into unstaged buffer for this one. And if error is X run, it's not nil. Return fmt error f yag less untracked unstage. And then we will have this little islang function, and we'll have this little we're writing to sk buffer here, and we're not writing to sk buffer here, so I forgot that we were working onto the sk buffer where we're writing to the stage buffer, and then we're printing out everything from the stage buffer. But this should be actually printed out here, so we will see it next to the sk buffer instead. So good, like if we have the untracked file, which is this the untracked files, write this unstaged, and then we have our little scanner thing onto unstaged, and for each of the elements we check if the language is included. If it's included, and we continue and we print to the sk buffer. And and here we have var node free staged bytes buffer, exec command list change staged. Well, we want now to do the same thing as for list untracked unstaged. So this will happen into the node free stage buffer. So we will write into the new inside here instead of here. So the little annotations goes just right here. So if not x equal to exec command yag test less untracked staged extended out will be node free staged. If error equal to x run, error not nil, return fmt.errorf yag less untracked staged. Okay, so yeah, this way I have all of this being written to the nodes free stage buffer. Then this buffer is being scanned all along, and we're adding this annotation u here, and then we are printing this to standard output, where we actually want to print this to sk buffer. So I will change this little println by fprintln and saying that we want to print everything into the SK buffer. So while I have this now is I have, let's say, I have like a compilation of my unstaged files here with the U, and they're like ordered. We hadn't had like the order before, the guarantee about the order, but by making groups of list change and track, like by making these groups, we were able to get an order, a good order of everything. So I have only my untracked files at the top, or here it will be at the bottom, because I write first the staged files, and then I have also my unstaged file. And this way, I have all of this going through SK pointer, like a buffer. Once I have everything in my SK buffer, what I would like is more or less to be able to go through my SK buffer and send it to SK command. So, and just returning from that for now. Alright, so how do I write this to my SK command buffer? I create a new command with exec command. I do write SK, and I don't think anything else but like to say that the standard input standard in will be SK. While I write this, SK will be read properly through my thing here, and then I can return nil. And I will just also make sure that we have OS that standard output to get there, and then we can just run the command. If, well, there are multiple errors we can get from skim. They are all indicated by, I think, skim help. Tells us things about, well, there's a lot going on into the skim help, but what about the return value? So do not clear empty return. Well, there's not much about return actually. I just closed my terminal. That was not really good. Let me just run the command and return this for the moment. So let me compile it again. And now I have YAG, just YAG itself, and we only have the cmd root.go, and it will print me that is the character we have here. I can go to my test folder, go to any of these. Whatever. Just to make some files, touch some files, make some commits. So what about the git status here, and make some tests here. So this A is, for example, modified. So yeah, here should say, oh, it says nothing because it's not into my language, but let's move A to a.go. I think that this changed my status to being deleted, and now we have an untracked file, unstaged file. But what if I add git add a.go, and then I have git touch b.go, then my status is something like this. And what about calling gag on this? I should have one untracked file, A, that could be staged, and another one that is not staged that could be unstaged. So it's kind of simple. What I am about to do here is to first of all, I need that on top of the SK thing, I mean like the SK buffer, I need a command to get out of this, like when I'm done. So when I'm done, I can just write some fmt fprint to the buffer sk done. So that will be like the command to get out of there. And then I will loop into sk panels. And when I have the little u extension here, I would like to do git add the file without the removing the suffix. And when I have a file with without it, we will like to unstage the file. All right. So first things first, let's do a loop, a for loop, and if error equals to this, I will return error for now, just like this. Okay. All right. So I launched the sk command with the background, the sk command here, but actually the for loop is also doing all of this again. So I need to do the full actually computation of all the files before I rerun the loop. And once I'm done, I have my sk thing and I have my done thing, and it will be able to run to run again and again. Now I would like to be able to take the output to another buffer called out, maybe. And this out buffer, I would like to get the answer from it. So I think there is a new line inside this out, and I would like to test if has prefix, but out.string. So I don't know if I do just a single print here, if it would work. So to just display this, so let me yag install again, let me yag back here. So if I do this and do Control C, b.go, b.go here seems to have a new line just after it. So if I print this now, if I call it s out.string or command, this is my real command, like user command. If I would like to get user command, will be this, and then user command will be user command until len of user command -1. And if I print user command, well, I could print it quoted. That could work for trying to test it. So if I have this now, you see that my user command has no anymore this new string. So we got our user command, and then we can do if strings dot has suffix, sorry. And I don't really need to do this, but like if strings dot has, we have multiple cases, so I will, instead of doing if, I will do select case strings dot has suffix ucmd case ucmd equals to done, and then all the other cases. Okay, so if has suffix u with a little space u, expected column found. Yeah. So this guy says select case must be sent, or oh, it's not a select, it's a switch, sorry. So if we can switch between these cases, so first case we have ucmd has suffix this little u here, then it will be possible for us to know that the next command we want to operate on the file. So we have target here equals ucmd until len of ucmd minus, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, and I want to print ln target. If we're done, we would like return nil. And for any other case, we already have the target here, so we will run this on the file. The target will be ucmd. Okay, I stop printing ucmd in here, and I go back to installing this, and yeah, again. So for this case here, normally I have a target that's being printed, and the target is a.go. Yes. If b.go goes selected, then nothing happens. And if we are done, it just quits the loop, right? And we do a return nil. All right, so that's what it is. Yeah. So the target, in the case we have a target here, what we like to do is to stage it. So it will is our no, u is like, if it has a suffix u, it means it was already staged, so we want to unstage it. So I want to do yag unstage the target. So I will do a little command yag unstaged target, and we'll do x.run if error come around. We will do return um, FMT error. Yeah, unstage this. Okay. And then in case UCMD is done, this was okay. And here we already know the target. The target is already UCMD. And here we will like git add. Exec command git add UCMD. If error call x run. Return fmt error. Yeah, oh sorry, git add this target error. I think it would be nice except renaming this to target as well, because it is always good if we do use the same words for both the cases so we know what we're talking about. But otherwise, it will be nice that we do set up the command for standard error to be os.standard error and standard output to be os.standard output. Same thing for both commands. Let me install this and let's test here. So if I do B now, I should stage B, so they're both staged, and that worked pretty fully. If I want to unstage A, then A is also unstaged. And now I can just play with my files, of which I want to make them staged on a stage. And when I'm done with my commit state, I'm done. So that's what we have been doing right now. And if there's any question, I would rightfully take them in the comments or in just the chat right now. All right. So having an hour and 30 minutes, so what might be a good idea for me to take a little break. And we can also fantasize in this break, seeing the intro about like Solid.js. There is an advanced intro made by Solid.js, Introduction to Reactivity in Solid.
Solid is a reactive JavaScript framework for building performant web apps. In this video, we will understand.
So the Yak task I had was much more for me to get like, oh, by the way, before we switch to Solid, there is a little more. So if I put Yak here, I see that cmd/root.go is the only thing that I have added here. But if I see git status here, I see that there is actually much more files being written to my file system that I don't need. And those files are not concerned because in my language, I don't say that that slash, for example, or there is no way to add folders, for example, to your. So instead of having git status and all this list of like statuses, I can focus a bit more on my language I'm using, and so on the language I'm using. So for example here, if I do YAG, I see that cmd.root was already there. It was staged, but I can stage it twice. So because it was both staged and unstaged, partly unstaged. So now it's all staged. So I get added it by iterating twice onto it. So maybe this is a side effect we didn't thought about earlier. But let's say we're done with this, and if I see it, git status modifies cmd_root.go, and we can commit with clone commit. So here is suggested commit message. Refactor split root command into interactive and add subcommand. Splits the root command functionality into two parts. New default interactive mode for staging and staging files with language filtering. Totally true. Alright, so this includes language filtering. Add subcommand that preserves the original file staging behavior. The iterating mode files by extension -lang and excluding untracked file flag, providing more streamlined staged workflow. So that's very good. So this is for my new dev, and we have to maybe review this on GitHub. So git push origin dev. It's rejected because the tip of your current branch is behind it. Didn't I? Oh man, I hate when it's like this. The problem is I deleted like the dev branch, but I haven't deleted the dev branch from the other side. So when you merge the code, actually when it's merged here, you can delete the branch, and this is something I forgot. So now there is no more, I can just push. Okay, that's okay now. And getting back here, there is only one commit. Split root command into interactive and add subcommands. Okay, so this is everything we have added to the logic for iterative subcommand. And the rest has been split elsewhere. New add command. Okay, can create a pull request this way. So, and filtering files by extensions. So this will be something that we want somewhere is YAG config file for your terminal. So for example, you can use multiple aliases. So you can use, I don't think it's a good one, but I would prefer to get somehow like a way to save configurations and change configurations. Like for example with the YAG SQLite extension. Somewhere in your configuration you will have a SQLite database with whatever extension you have been using. So each time you use a lang, you can then have them saved into your database. And when you want to change the option for lang, so you will have configure and configure language, and then you will have like every kind of language you have been using, iterating them through skim, like we have seen here, and then being able to choose the language from this before launching the actual command. So that will set the language option without going through the language option flag. So this means I have to refactor a bit the code so that this for loop I'm using here is not at this place but can be called from different places. So that could be a possible thing to do with YAG. And a possible task we can add to the to YAG or feature we can imagine using interactive configuration. But first step would be like to add like every time we use a language, we can see if it's really bad or not that bad. Or maybe you can just pull only one language at a time. Maybe it's not that handicap. We have to see a little bit what is the user experience through it first before trying to change it. Okay. All right, so okay. Well, if you want to review this, I'm pasting it in the chat. All right. I will leave this for a moment until we reuse it. Okay.
Understand what fine-grained reactivity is and how does it work in Solid. Let's start by creating a relationship. As the name says, double count multiplies the value of count by 2, and if we log into the console we can confirm the relation. Though if further down we increment the value of count, the relationship breaks as double count is unable to react to the value of count. Solid allows us to preserve this relationship via a signal. With the createSignal method, we receive back a getter, also called an accessor, and a setter, which we can use to update the value of the signal. Like this, we can wrap double count in its own getter and make it reactive to count.
All right, so double count is now reactive to count because count is accessed by a function.
Because each getter is a function, it will retrieve the actual current value of count every time it is called. If we replace count plus 1 with our signal getter, it should work. And because we want to log into the terminal every time double count changes, we can wrap our console log into a side effect callback with the createEffect method. And now, even if we wrap our set count into a set interval,
So each time we change the value, there's a createEffect.
the program will continue to log the value on every update. And these heuristics scale well as your code complexity increases.
All right. All right, I will end this stream and we will come back to another stream for Solid.js. And for our book recorder projects instead. Thank you for watching. And really, if there's any questions, please leave them up.